great. So, uh, good afternoon, London, and good evening, India.
Good evening, India.
I'm
Good
so
evening.
happy. I'm so happy that
Good
now
evening.
we are going to present the soul-touching tone. Uh, the idea behind this is, this will be actually my class, and I've invited some amazing singers, and they will take a lesson, and I'll be a student, and I'm going to learn some basic elements and the techniques from you all. And first, I'm going to start with, and thank you very much, Ambika. Thank you very much, Rosabella. Thank you very much, Rupa, for joining. In this session. Thank you all. Can you hear me, Rupa?
Yes, of course.
Okay, your picture is somehow a little bit freezing, but I think it's okay. Okay, so I'm going to ask Ambika, and you live in London for a long time, and whenever I listen to you, I always get um, an essence of traditional background. Whatever you do, maybe you are singing Bollywood, maybe you are singing your own repertoire, Carnatic music, or any songs. I can see that there are some elements that that uh, can portray that your classical background. So if you kindly tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So I started learning Carnatic music when I was, I think, 8 years old. I started learning violin first from my father, who's a violinist. And
Yes, we all know.
a year later,
Yeah, yeah.
a year later, I started vocal more officially, which I think really helped. The order in which I learnt that was also very helpful. And having trained under my father, I was literally just following instructions, because at that age you don't know what is being given to you. And Carnatic music especially, I'm not sure about how it is for Hindustani music, but it's overwhelming. There's a lot that happens that isn't as commonly it's not as common to come across as perhaps Western music is. You get nursery rhymes, you get songs that are very common in schools.
I understand.
And stuff.
Yeah.
In Carnatic music, obviously, there is a structure, there is a popular structure, but as a child not exposed to it in India, and I moved here when I was young, I had no other exposure to it other than at home. And so when I was given a lot of things to practice, that's all I knew to do. I actually just followed that instruction. And I think having done it just as I was taught for very many years allowed me to kind of have the groundwork put in place. Around the time I was a teenager is when I came across jazz, soul, pop. I mean, I'd moved to India and back and forth very many times. So
I understand.
When I did come back as a teenager, I met friends who had different musical tastes, and they introduced me to things like Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, the ballads. They were kind of really happening at the time. And I took a big interest in it because when I first heard Whitney Houston, I was quite ignorant. I mean, I used to listen to MTV, Sonu Nigam, and Bollywood music when I was in India. To come and listen to Whitney Houston, I thought, hang on, this is a woman singing? I wasn't exposed to that range, that depth in vocals with any sort of Indian music that I'd
I
been
understand.
learning
And also
singing.
And also that particular texture, the voice. Yeah.
So I was listening to, initially I didn't start off listening to Whitney Houston. There were just CDs in the house. I was listening to Janet Jackson, and I found it very sweet. Her voice was very soft and sweet. And I remember that every time I was singing in Carnatic, by the way, for those of you who are watching and you don't know what Carnatic is the name given to the South Indian classical music form. And a lot of the compositions and style of singing in Carnatic happened to come across bluntly, on face value. It would be sounding rather rigid and harsh, as people put it. It's actually not. There's a really beautiful smoothness to it. But in comparison to other styles, it wouldn't be as smooth sounding initially, I suppose. So being familiar with that style of singing in compositions, to come across something as, you know, sweet as Janet Jackson, I kept thinking, wow, she's got this sweet tone, and I'm not sure how to emulate that, how to mimic that exactly. And mimicry was, not that I'm good at mimicry, but that was my aim. I would try and imitate every singer that I heard.
That is actually a very common word, you know. I also used to copy Kishore Kumar in my childhood days. So
Right.
you know, to copy something, and also from my Guruji, and you know, that time I was not very much matured till still now. I'm not matured, and I used to copy that. That's a very good point. I'm coming back to you again, and now I'm asking
Sorry
some.
to interrupt you, Chiranjeeb. Sorry to interrupt you. Will you please let us share this? Please allow us to share this.
You can on Facebook.
Yes, I can't share it from here. It's showing you are not allowing us to. Yeah.
No, you can. You go to
Via
timeline.
Facebook, though.
Oh.
So if you go to Facebook, you'll see it's up there, and then you can share it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you
Just
get
a
my
moment.
time?
Give me a second, please.
Sure.
Yeah. Share. Yes. Done.
That's great. Great. So sorry, I didn't I didn't give you time to share.
Sorry. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So Rosabella, thanks again for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Completely our pleasure. And I would love to ask you one thing, that I've seen you performing in a lot of venues, and I'm quite fortunate that I've heard you a couple of times. And you know, the main thing behind that, and you know, we discussed earlier about a couple of things, and the voice, the tone, you know, actually that matters for me. And if you kindly tell us something about your you know, musical background or something, I'll really it will be helpful for us to know about your because I know that you play piano, and you compose some songs, and sometimes you sing. So if you please tell us something about this.
It's funny because I think when we were chatting, I was thinking, is there a concise way to explain? And I think there is, actually. So yes, I do all these various things that we've split into different disciplines, like playing the piano, singing, composing, songwriting, recording, improvising. We see these as accompanying. I think we do rightly see these as separate individual disciplines. But for probably many of us, they've actually all grown, for me, they've grown out of one idea. So when I was very little, I played the piano, and very early on, I discovered I wanted to write songs. And actually really intriguing what you said, Ambika, about, I suppose, impersonation. I feel it's maybe another way of putting it that feels more like what it is for me, is empathy, is trying to sort of really tap in to an idea. And for me, it's always a story. So what it would be is, what is the lyric I'm singing? Is even if it's mine, obviously I fully understand that story, and then I become the vessel for the core idea of that story, and that informs every decision. That informs the key, the timbre, the phrasing, the way a word lands, you know, the way a syllable will land, if it's spoken and sung, if it's sung with gusto, even if it's out of my range, but if it has to be done aggressively and I have to go for it, but this is, for me, it's a little bit like there's a vision, and this instrument of mine, which is, I don't consider it a separate thing from the piano or actually from composing. It's
That's very great.
It's like a storyteller. So you're using my little sort of a few octaves here. I haven't got a lot, but what I'm trying to use them very specifically to tell a story. And that's, I love this idea of soul touching tone, because that's exactly what I would say I do. I'm like,
that's fantastic. Actually, when I heard you last time, maybe in Rich Mix or in Hampstead Town Hall,
yeah,
what I felt that you are singing. Definitely, you are singing, but mostly you are acting with the song. That resembles me. You know that what you just explained to us, that you want to be that that character of the song, and you
find the truth in it.
Yeah.
So very often, and you know, this relates to everything, and it might be interesting for your listeners to know that I do, for example, I do string arranging for people, and they'll say, oh, can you put some strings on my song? And sometimes I'll work with people who speak a different language, so I'll say, can you translate the lyrics? And they'll say, why do you need the lyrics? I say, I need to know the story, because these individual voices have a story to tell. They have a role to play in your story. And I think that when you've seen me, when I've worked with Shomik, when I've worked with Sasha, they are very clear. They understand now that Rosie needs the story in order to find, and then the disciplines, then the hours of practice, you know, all of the sort of the craft comes into play, but it comes into play when it knows what it needs to do.
Of course, absolutely. I'll come back to you again. And now, Rupa, thank you again for joining us, and I'm really grateful. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, your picture is sometimes freezing. I don't know. Maybe for the
thanks to Amphan.
network issue. And you know,
yes,
as I know you for a long time, and
yes,
you know, you are from a musical background, and
yes,
you know, you have learned lots from your legendary father, who is my guru, Pandit Nidanbandhu Bandyopadhyay. And
yes,
that I want to ask you one thing, because the thing is, you already had that you know, traditional learning process, and you also did performance, and you are very successful as a teacher. So what you feel that when some musical person or non-musical person praise about your tonal texture, tone?
Yes, that I think, Chiranjeeb, I'm fortunate enough to be born to my parents. Both of them had amazing voice quality, and you know, all my ancestors had a extraordinary jawari in their voice. Yeah. So I think I'm blessed with that, and it depends on you also how you shape it up, how you with dedication, with riyaz and proper training, under proper training. So it all depends on that. There are many aspects of this, and thirdly, it's very rare to see that the mixture of these two, talent, God's gift, and as well as tremendous riyaz. So I think a handful of legends possess that. So I think you got my answer.
That's absolutely fine. I got you, and I just want to ask you, because in some concert, maybe in one concert I was there, and Pandit Kumar Prasad Mukherjee actually adopted you, and
he wanted
because
to
of your
adopt me.
because of your the word tasir, you know, the texture, the tone of your voice. My question is that you know, when you as a child, you didn't understand what it is, but when you matured enough and you are performing, then you know this is your positive sides. So I want to ask you specifically, what techniques or what sort of basic elements you practiced?
Yes, I don't think I'm aware enough about my tonal quality. I'm still a student, I'm still learning. I regularly practice what I did on the first day. I think the generation of gurus we had, Chiranjeeb, they believed in calming down, you know, not running around with the notes,
I understand.
calming down. And if you, yes, if you practice cooling down and calming down yourself, I think you gain some power to cool down others. So it is, they believed in dhirata se rache alap. That means
I
sa
understand.
sthir, man thir. Yeah. So practice of sa, riyaz of sa is of utmost importance, because sa is the note from where you start and you come back. It's like a home, right? So practice of, there are many techniques of practicing sa, you know. I don't think this is, we'll get enough time to discuss. So it's one-to-one thing. So practice of sa is of utmost importance. Then practicing on the shuddha notes, that is the major notes.
I know.
By the way of practicing different patterns, which we call paltas. Then riyaz of, yeah, then riyaz of meed, kamak, redak, murak, krintan, practice of sapat, which cleans your voice. This portion, yeah. So there are many things. I still do practice everything.
That's great. I'll come back to you.
I'm still a student.
I'll come back to you. And now I'm going to ask Ambika. Ambika, you already cleared that you had a traditional training, and now you are performing like in London and everywhere, and you are singing all sorts of music, you know, and because you know, I have heard your traditional kritis and slokas of Carnatic background, and also you are doing live shows with some Bollywood singers, and you did it really successfully, and people are praising you. People love your tone, and I'm also your fan, you know, that I love the texture. And like, my question is, when you have a traditional you know, education of music, do you feel that it's easy for you to control the all sorts of songs, because you have a solid background? What do you feel actually? Please share.
I think having some sort of training really helps, but because some people train from a very young age and some people start later in their lives, being one of those people who've started very early, a lot of the awareness of notes, awareness of placements, awareness of timing, and being able to sing in the right key and being able to stay in tune, these sort of things ended up sitting in my subconscious. And only when I recently started teaching about 4 years ago is when I realized how not natural it is for everybody to learn it. It somehow came to me, but it's only when I am having to explain something like, for example, Sa, like Rupa ji is mentioning, the Swara Sadhana of Sa being the home note. It's not easy to explain that to somebody who is not aware of that culture at all, culture of thinking at all. And I think it takes time. It takes time for you to get your head around how it sits perfectly within a melody, within anything that you're singing. Definitely some form of training helps. And I'd actually like to make a reference to a conductor, a very well-known conductor called Benjamin Zander. I'm really grateful. He basically mentions how each year of a child learning, for example, a particular piece, it changes upon practice. So today it will be an impulse upon every 4 notes. A year down the line, the same piece, the impulse will change every 2 notes. Then, you know, it comes very naturally. You start to flow. And a lot of singers today that start to learn, you know, even as a child, the parents have expectations of their children, and even children start to believe that, oh, you know, I've seen youngsters putting up their music online, going to shows, performing. They think that this flow comes instantly. For some people it does, and it takes them a lifetime to understand how they got it. But I think this manual mechanical practice is a very important part of training your voice, because it is an instrument. Just like you would learn to play the guitar and you have frets on the board, you don't have such guidelines for vocals. So you need to find a very good grip as to how the cogs work.
You need a lot of patience. You need a lot of patience. That's a very trying part.
You do need patience, and you need a lot of hope.
It's sometimes that it's not like some people think that it's a very instant thing, and it's not at all a debit card that you are inserting into a machine and you are getting cash. You need to allow some time to adopt it. That I feel, and thank you so much, Ambika, and I'll come back to you again. Rosabella, last time we were discussing that you had a very brief vocal training. You told me that if you can share some points, that what sort of things you practice, like any particular movement or anything, please.
I mean, the classical training, so it was classical training that I would have had. So I think I did grade 5 in singing in order to achieve the grade 5 in one instrument and grade 8 in another, to go off and do A level and then to go on and study music. So it was actually just a tick in the box. And it was very similar to the teaching of piano. It was very similar to how we learn classical music in the West, which is a sort of a bone of contention for me, because we start with melody and harmony rather than rhythm. So it's fascinating, actually, looking back at how, and gosh, this really does relate to what Ambika just said about being an instinctive musical person. Just is that to do with age? What is it to do with? Some people, I was one of those lucky, I think it's lucky, but I agree with you. You spend your life going, but how? Because certainly I teach as well. And now I think, gosh, but if you don't have that instinctive connection, then how on earth do you try and explain how to go back? So this idea of mechanics and repetition, that's how I was trained in piano, and that's how I was trained with singing. Scales, arpeggios, vocal warm-up exercises, discovering your range, trying to expand on that a little bit to see where you sit. And again, the moment you decide where your range is, that's the hat you wear. Now, I'm not sure I like that, but there's a hat. So you go, well, this is my range. I'm a alto, or I'm a mezzo soprano, boom. And then you work on that area of your voice, and you learn the repertoire. And the way I was taught was scales, arpeggios, technical exercises, a little bit of sight reading, and then learning pieces. And I was thinking about this today, relating back to the thing I said before. I can't remember how much we focused on the me part of that process, because you can't pack your voice away in a box like a violin, and it's part of you. It's your who you are as well, that you're bringing to the table. Everything you utter comes from contains truths about you. It's like your DNA, if you like, and that will pour out of you. So, and I was thinking about also just the female human voice. Over the years, you've got an abundance of work that suggests that it's not empowering, it doesn't command authority. So all of these things, I'm thinking, yes, the technical side is incredibly crucial, but what was lacking in and maybe not just mine, I think just in the way we train over here, was a sense of investment of yourself. And I'm curious, little Rosie, when you're learning this song, let's talk about what it's about. Let's talk about how you can connect to that. So that was something that was lacking. But yeah, I think that's
fantastic. I'm going to ask. Thank you so much, Rosabella. I would like to ask one question, both of you, Ambika and Rupa. Somebody asked in the Facebook. Okay, I would love to tell you that a lot of people are watching. So I got a question. That do we need to practice Meed, Gamak, Murki separately besides the other techniques? First I'm asking to Rupa, then I'll ask to Ambika.
Yes, of course, Chiranjeeb. Need is the riyaz of coming down to two notes, from one note to another note. So all of these things have to be practiced separately. Maybe in a bandish, in a raga.
Yes, yes. So do you practice separately, or do you choose a raga and do that?
There are many rags in which meers and gamaks can be applied very easily. Whereas there are some other rags in which there are places where we can use Verak, Murak, Krintan, Murchana.
Okay.
So we have to treat all the ragas according to their characteristics and according to the sentiment of raga.
Thank you
Not
so
all
much.
raga has all the properties.
Absolutely. Ambika, I know about the special kind of gamakas in Carnatic vocal. So apart from the gamakas, if you kindly tell us a little bit about the techniques like murki, like the fast movement, and any other ornamentation you practice, how you practice, or what you feel about it.
Well, I think Rupaji, you've said it quite wonderfully. It does require a separate form of practice. A lot of the melodies that you hear, especially in music that comes from, let's talk about in reference to, say, Bollywood music, for example, or any commercial music. There's a certain beauty that the voice is carrying. And that beauty, you wonder, oh my God, what is it about that voice? You think it's just to do with the voice. It's not just to do with the voice. It's about knowing what notes are connected in order to make that gamak, in order to make that little, trill, that little movement. And in order to practice it, you've got to be aware of what notes are involved. For that, you do need to sort of get your head around what a scale consists of in that rag and in that range of notes in the composition, for example. So, even picking something like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, I'll just give you an example. If you were to decipher that into sargam, sa sa pa pa dha dha pa ma ma ga ga ri ri sa, those are directly sung notes, right? Now, if I was to sing that with gamaks, you would know it's gamaks, but if I was to say sa sa pa pa dha dha pa, you'd think, oh, it's sa sa pa pa dha dha pa, but what else is going on? So where is the sa coming from? Sa. You'd be very quick to thinking that sa is being achieved. It's kind of being traveled to from somewhere underneath, but it's not an unfamiliar somewhere. It's going from dha, for example, sa sa dha sa sa, pa 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 ga pa pa. And in order to be able to align your tone with it, you've got to know where to apply dynamics, where to apply a diminished diminished pressure, you could say, of projection. So sa sa, you'd be able to hear the
this is
and
this is there in Hindustani music also, and especially in Gwalior Gharana. Their bandishes were initially composed from Drupad. So Drupad, the ala part of the Drupad, it always says no note can appear on a single platform. It has to take the help of other notes from beside. Either a lower note or a upper note. Yes.
That's great. Thank you, Ambika. Thank you, Rupa. Now I am, because we are talking too much, and I'm so happy that a lot of people are watching. Rosabella, I know that you have some other commitments, so I want to ask you, please sing a song for us.
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that.
Please. That is my question, actually. Anything.
What's a Facebook Live without singers having to sing something?
Oh, great.
Anything, please.
Can I not just say, please go and look on my page, because there's actually something I put up very recently.
Yeah. Before that, I can ask Ambika to sing something, and you come back with your paper. I'm allowing you sometime.
Oh, well, why don't you suggest something for me? Is there something that you've heard me sing that you'd like me to?
Anything, actually. Anything, just you sing. 3-4 line would be fine. Don't worry. You posted something. I can give you a cue. You posted
I
something.
know, I'm trying to think of what I posted recently.
You
There's
can,
so many things going on at the moment musically that I'm doing.
So you
I would
check
like
your
to find
phone.
something that actually relates to this.
I'm allowing you 3-4 minutes. You check your phone. Remember, and then I can ask Ambika to sing something. Okay. But you have to sing.
Okay,
Ambika,
so maybe
please.
somebody goes first.
Yeah. Ambika,
Okay,
please.
let me just turn
Anything,
my tanpur on.
What your...
Is it too loud? Is the tanpura too loud?
No, not at all. You please make it loud a little bit. The tanpura, because of the zoom, the sound.
Is that okay?
To leave.
More,
I can
little
hear
bit.
it maybe a little bit more.
More.
There we go.
Yeah,
Better?
that's fine. That's
There.
fine.
Leave.
Okay, so there is a Carnatic composition that I'd like to sing, just a small section, which gives you a taster for what
No, it's
Carnatic
working
music
now.
can sound like.
It's
Yeah.
working. Thank God.
Alai payude kanna Alai payude kanna en manam alai payude Alai payude kanna en manam alai payude உன்னானந்த மோகன வேணுகானமதில் அலைப்பாயுதே கண்ணா என் மனம் அலைப்பாயுதே உன்னானந்த மோகன வேணுகானமதில் அலைப்பாயுதே கண்ணா
Kya baat hai.
Fantastic.
Kya baat. Thank you so much. Rosabella, now it's your turn. Please.
So I'm going to sing a little bit. I've actually pulled up a little score here.
Yeah.
You might recognize it, but this is something that I was asked to do a rosy sort of Western version of a traditional Bengali piece. So I'm going to do a little bit.
That's great.
So that was A.
Sounds exciting.
Oh,
Yeah, that was A.
It was quite difficult as well, so I'll make some mistakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look into my eyes, see the thirst all across my chest. I feel the thirst. Look into my eyes, see the thirst. I'm devoid of the rain in scorching summer's pain. I'm devoid of the rain in scorching summer's pain. Flaming in agony, my life will burst. Look into my eyes, see the thirst. It's terribly hard without a beat.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful. Wow.
Really hard.
I think audience already guessed it. This is a famous composition of Rabindranath Tagore, Chokhe Amar Trishna. So absolutely fabulous, Rosabella. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ask you a question about this piece.
Nice.
The lyrics are in English. Who interpreted those lyrics?
This is Sasha Gashal.
Right.
Yeah, and in fact, he will tell you the story of how. So this is
Shasha is one of the brilliant singer. He's now he's living in London. He's from Calcutta, and he's doing some research work here about theater. And he's a fantastic singer and composer.
He's amazing, and he's actually given me so much. He's educated me by literally throwing me into this and saying,
"Oh, that's
do
great."
Something. And I was saying to him, "It's 5/4. It's phrases that are so they kind of go against Western rhythms, but it's very interesting how words land in these signatures, time signature." And how there is a sort of folk element to it that's quite interesting. You can see how those worlds can merge.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rosabella. If you are in a hurry, you can leave. So it's up to you.
I better go catch my train.
Yes,
Actually,
yes,
I
yes.
have a similar
Thank you.
situation.
You do. Nice to meet you all, and good luck.
Nice to meet you
Thank you.
too.
Take
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you,
Take
Rosabella.
care.
Yeah,
Take
nice
care.
meeting you.
Now, Rupa, could you kindly sing a song for us? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. What kind of
I
song you want to?
I would love to listen to some, composition of my Dadu Bhai. If my Guruji Pandit Nidan Bandhu Bandyopadhyay's composition, if you kindly sing,
I can sing a very rare kind of a thumri. There
please.
are many kinds of thumris. So last time I remember you asked me to sing one by thumri for your this Facebook online program.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a very old composition. I'm trying
Yes.
my best.
That's great.
Voice throwing here is something different than the other
I understand.
compositions. I'm just trying. Is the Tanpura okay?
Yeah,
Tanpura
that
is
sounds
okay?
fine. A little bit louder wouldn't be too bad.
You can make it little louder. You can make it little louder. The tanpura.
Okay. Just a moment. Fine?
Fine. Beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay. कमल मुरझा
Nabas.
कमल मुरझा कमल मुरझा कमल मुरझा कमल मुरझा कमल मुरझा मोरी बाल जो बना पर बाल 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 मोरी बाल जो बना पर हाथ ना नारो हाथ नारो रे कमल मुरझा कमल मुरझा कमल मुरझा कमल मुरझा मोरी बाल जो बन बाल जो बन पर बाल जो बन पर बाल जो बन पर बाल जो बन पर हाथ ना डारो रे कमल मुरझा हो कमल मुरझा
That's great, Rupa. Thank you
That's
so much.
beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Already, Rupa, you'll be happy to know already one of our Guru Bhai requested Sartak Sargam from you. And I would like to
Oh my
mention
God.
couple of very honorable guest and honorable musician. Very musician are watching this show. Shomor Kaku, apni dekhchen, amader pronam neben. I'm speaking in Bengali, and another very, very talented, one of my, very favorite voice of Calcutta, and daughter of a legendary musician, Jayanta Bose. Pandit Jayanta Bose's daughter is watching Mahiri Bose. Thank you, Mahiri ji, for watching our show. Thank you so much. And lot of musicians are watching. Thank you. Shatodeepa, hope you already got your answer from Ambika ji and Rupa ji. Hello, hello. Here is one my guest, Abira. How are you, Abira?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Hi,
good. I'm good.
everyone.
I'm good. Nice to see
Hi,
you.
Abira.
Hi, Abira.
You were amazing, Rupa जी. मुझे आप लोग ये
Thank
बता दें,
you.
मैं हिंदी में बात करूं आप सबसे, है ना?
Please, please, please,
Yes, yes.
please.
I understand it. I can
हिंदी में
respond
सब
in
बात
English.
कर रहे हैं तो मैं बिल्कुल. और रूपा जी कमाल, इतना प्यारा
Oh.
माशाल्लाह, जबरदस्त. मेरी एंट्री
Thank
हुई
you.
और आपके सुरीले सुर जो मैंने सुने हैं, मैं थोड़ा सा डर भी गई, लेकिन कमाल, माशाल्लाह, क्या बात है.
Thank you so much, dear. Thank you so much.
Abira, thank you so much for within a short notice you agreed
Pleasure
to
is
come,
all mine.
and I'm so happy today that you people showed your love regarding this show, and without you it won't be possible for me to organize. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll ask you the first question. Ambika, feel free. I would love to hear another song from you. But if you need to take care of your daughter, you can do switch off, switch on. I don't mind,
Yes,
because
thank
I
you.
know I know your situation. But when you want to leave, you leave. But if I see you on the screen, I can't control myself to question you, or maybe I'll ask you to sing another song. Rupa,
Sure.
thank you so much for your wonderful rendition.
My pleasure.
And
My pleasure.
it's
Beautiful.
remind me those days, when I used to learn from my dadu, and it's a great thing to have you today. Please be here, and if you are in a hurry, you can leave, or whatever. It's up to you. Okay. And
Okay, Chiranjeeb.
okay. Abira, thank you again. Now
Thank you. Please stop. Don't thank me.
the question is, the question I'd like to ask you. Before that, I want to tell you that I was listening to your voice maybe last 1 year, couple of clips and everything.
Yes.
Okay, so what I feel that okay, let me just call another guest. Piyu,
Yeah,
can
sure,
you hear
sure,
me?
sure.
Piyu, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes. I'm just. Namaskar, Piyu. Thank you so much. Can you hear me, Piyu?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Oh,
guess you can also hear me.
yes.
Yes,
My
yes.
voice is clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Piyu,
Hello, Abira ji. Hello, Ambika ji.
Hi,
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
yeah.
Hello.
And Piyu, I'm just asking a couple of questions to
Yeah,
Abira,
sure.
Shah,
Yeah.
and then I'll come back to you.
Such a
And
wonderful discussion is going on. Actually, I have been watching this show since the beginning. So please go ahead, Dada, please.
thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Abira. Yeah, the point is, I and also last night I was watching a clip. It's a show organized by Ketanji keyboard, and you were singing. My first thing is, you were singing some kind of very famous song effortlessly, like the murki and the movement you were doing. That that what I felt that it's like spontaneous things is coming from you. What is the
That,
magic behind this? Please tell us.
that's actually, thank you so much, first of all. I can't thank you enough for this. And the magic behind that, I think I sing what I love. Of course, yes, when we do gigs, when we do shows, we sing according to what audience wants us to sing. But, when we cover something, I try to cover songs that I feel like, I'm attached to those songs. I You know, every song you would watch on YouTube, especially with Ketan, those are the songs that are either from my childhood. And I would just quickly would like to say that my mother, her name is Sitara Shah, and she is actually Shagird of Madam Noor Jahan. So she used to, you can call it a torture. She used to literally tell me,
just a
go
second.
learn this song.
Just a, hi,
Yeah, sure.
Tanya. Can you hear me?
Yes, all good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. You are already used to it. Like a fantastic studio setup. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I am just exchanging our thoughts to one of the leading singer, Abira Shah, and she's explaining. And then I'll come back to you. And Pew is there, another great singer from Calcutta. So it's really, I'm so happy today to see all of you here. And yes, Abira, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, basically what my mom used to do, as soon as she found out, yes, I could sing, yes, I sing in tune, she would bring out these old Lataji songs, Ashaji songs, mostly I think Lataji songs, that even my Nani Dadi wouldn't know those songs. So she used to blackmail me like this.
I understand.
So that music, that genre of music, you know, I'm 25 years old. I do listen to modern music, but I don't know why. You can't ever compete to that era. You can't ever compete to what, you know, used to happen back then. So I try to justify that song, whatever I sing, that music, you know, with feelings, with emotions. And half of the time covers are live whenever I sing with kids. And it's really hard for me sometimes to sing those songs because I get really emotional. You know, the way he plays the chords, and then the song like Aaj Socha To Aansu Bhar Aaye. I love that song. And you know what? I just really want to thank you for having me here, listening to Rupa ji, knowing about you.
It's completely my pleasure. You know, my second question is, you know, people that you are performing all over the world now and with some renowned musicians, and that I'm quite sure that people always praise your voice, your texture of voice, you know, that when you just एक सा अब जब लगाते हो तो लोग बोलते हैं क्या बात है. So what is the recipe behind this? Did you have any formal training, or what sort of practice you do, or what you do actually? I would love to know the ingredients of your
so I think that's singing to me, music to me is definitely a language. And we all know if you want to learn a language, you have to speak it. As much as you speak it, the more you speak, the more you learn. So I think it's the same with singing. The more you sing, the more you learn. वो बोलते हैं ना कि ये समंदर है, and yes, आप इसमें जितनी गहराई में जाते जाएंगे आपको नई नई चीजें सीखने को मिलती हैं. And bless my mother, she has always been there for me, you know, about enunciation, about pronunciation, the lafz, or word ko kaise bolna hai, especially when you're singing ghazals.
Yes,
so
yes.
She's always, I mean, I do call her, she's my start. I've learned from my mother. So definitely all credit goes to her. The way I sing, the way I even
that's great. Pew, already your fan follower is writing that Pew happens to be a sheer favorite vocalist of mine, Mahiri Bose. So I'm so happy. You muted your microphone, Pew. You unmute it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mahiri ji, for watching this wonderful show and for watching us. Definitely, it's a pleasure when you get this compliment from someone of your generation. She's one of the very, promising and famous vocalist of our generation. Not only the vocalist, she has many more other qualities as well.
I know. I loved her song. ভালোবেসে বুকে নিলাম. How many?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
তোমার
know
দেয়া
how
ব্যথার
many.
কমল. Yeah,
I don't know how many times I have heard that particular
yes,
song.
that's a
Okay,
great
Abira,
composition.
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you again. Tanya, Tanya, it's really, really, really. Thank you so much. Within your busy schedule, you managed to come.
Not so busy so much anymore with what's happening in the world. Obviously, I think
I
for
understand.
many of us musicians, we're homeward bound, and although I live here in Geneva in Switzerland, and
Yeah.
I have family here, so I was just early in the mountains. But I'm glad that I could make it for this, Chiranjeeb. Thank
Wow,
you so much for
wow.
asking me.
I'm a bit jealous. You are in Geneva. Oh, great.
It's not a
So
bad place to be during a lockdown. Yeah, the lake is
I,
there now. The weather's nice. It's good.
oh, that's fantastic. Tanya, I know you for a long time, and I'd love to know that yeah, the same thing uh, happened to you actually when you just tune your guitar and sing the first line. People goes mad. Oh, what a fabulous tone! So what you do actually, because I know you very well that you had a very good Indian classical training, and also you are a composer. You sing pop, you compose yourself. So if you kindly tell us something about you.
Um, in terms of, I think, sorry, just to see, Abira was just saying before that music is a language, and I would agree. And I think one has to hone their craft in order to express themselves in this language. And um, when you say tone, I think tone is something which is very unique and particular to each different voice and singer. No singer has the same voice, and I'm an identical twin, and my
Yes.
identical twin sister also sings, and we have different tones to our voices. They're very complementary when we sing together, but they are also different and unique at the same time. And I think that's what makes singing in particular very exciting, because each singer has a unique voice. Um, and I think particular tones can also lend themselves to various genres in different ways. My general tone of voice is sort of mid, so I can go quite high, but I feel quite happy in sort of A B register.
I understand.
And yeah, but whereas you have those tones like Lataji's voice, where she's very happy to sing in a
Yeah, yeah.
C sharp register, and it sounds so comfortable and natural for her voice, and beautiful also. So yeah, I just appreciate lots of different voices in different genres.
Any basic practice you do, like techniques, you'd like to share with us? Because I know you sang one ghazal and it goes viral.
Yeah.
People are, I received that time maybe from 10-15 people that Tanya is singing ghazal, and it was beautifully rendered. And if you kindly tell us something that how you use your instrument, like when you are singing ghazal in a concert, and then the next song will be a pop number, maybe your composition.
Mm-hmm.
If you kindly tell us.
Kindly tell you
That's
tell you
what is the recipe? What ingredients you use to give the justice of two different genre?
Well, in terms of technique, I definitely do go back to Palta exercises, of which you
Wow.
have taught me many.
Oh,
Because I think in order to sing certain genres like ghazal, you have to have a certain amount
that
of
movement.
flexibility in
Yeah.
order to make the murkis or the ornaments. You know, I find Palta very helpful in that sense. Um, and generally, even if I'm, with my band Seven Eyes, we have influences from many different styles of music. But before going on stage, I'll be warming up my voice with some paltas for sure.
That's great to know. That's great to know. I'll come back to you. I will
Sure.
ask you to sing a song for us. Before
Sure.
that, just to let you know, people are going mad to hear a song from Tansen Tanpura from you. I'm getting requests, so please be prepared. And also, you need to share your recipe, your ingredients, because now you are a star in Bengal, you know what I
You,
believe, because people just
this is going to be a
love your
little
voice. No, I'm telling you the truth.
embarrassing for
I,
me.
Not at
Definitely.
all, Piyu. That's the fact, because I live in London and I know what's going on in Calcutta, and
Thank you so
it's a
very much.
blessings. It's a blessings from your guru and everybody, that
Of course.
people love your voice. And so I'll come back to you. I'll ask you that what you do to to warm up your voice, or what is the behind the curtain recipe and ingredients. And now I'm asking Abira, I have a request, because I'm telling you that honestly, you sang one song on that show, and I have listened to that particular song maybe more than 20 times.
Oh
तुम
wow.
ना जा तुम ना जाने किस जहां में खो गए.
Okay.
So if you kindly sing that song, please.
Yes, sure. इजाजत है आपकी मुझे?
Please. And before that,
Yes.
I want to ask you another thing, that this is
Mhm.
a very old melody, you know,
Yeah.
and nowadays people actually, because you are doing lots of shows nowadays, and so how you maintain the the line, like traditional learning process,
Yeah.
traditional music, and mass appealing songs. Because what I've seen in your video, that you are enjoying that song. When Ketan started the rhythm, you are enjoying the song, and from the first word you are into it. So if you kindly tell the magic behind this particular switch on switch off things. Abira, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I think my Wi-Fi just.
Okay, I can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying I can't see you.
I can't see you either.
Maybe now. No.
Yeah.
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 Now I can see you. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
So yeah, you were saying
Traditional, like the what the music you have learned, and nowadays you are doing shows, and the mass appealing songs from this times movies and everything. So how do you cope within this?
To be honest, on my gigs, yes, nowadays people do demand for modern songs. You hardly get a crowd where they would tell you, आप तुम ना जाने किस जहां में खो गए, आपको आता है, आप सुना सकते हैं. People only, if I talk about Lata Ji's songs, people know Lag Ja Gale. Yes, I do get that song a lot.
I understand.
Everybody requests that song. But I personally prefer to sing that era. But now that you have to try everything, you have to keep your audience happy. So I try to justify that by learning what people like. But if you ask me, I personally would definitely say that's me. When I sing that style, that defines me.
That's fantastic. That's the absolute answer. I'm so happy. Please sing that song for us. Abira. Abira, can you hear me? Abira, can you hear me? I think she's having some connection problem. Abira, can you hear me?
Oh God, my internet is just going
Now
crazy.
I got. Okay, if you kindly sing the song.
Yeah, sure. I'll start with Antara.
Please.
मौत भी आती नहीं, आस भी जाती नहीं, मौत भी
क्या बात है?
आती नहीं, आस भी जाती नहीं, दिल को ये क्या हो गया, कोई शय भाती नहीं, लूट कर मेरा जहां, छुप गए हो तुम कहाँ, लूट कर मेरा जहां, छुप गए हो तुम कहाँ, तुम कहाँ, तुम कहाँ, तुम कहाँ, तुम न जाने
क्या बात है?
किस जहां में खो गए, हम भरी दुनिया में तन्हा हो गए, तुम न जाने किस जहां में खो गए.
क्या बात
That's
है?
it. Thank you.
क्या बात है? क्या बात है? Beautiful.
I hope that was fine. You know, I'm just.
Beautiful.
That was indeed
Beautiful.
very beautiful. Very
Thank
beautiful,
you.
Beautiful.
Abira.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you so
That
much.
was
Fantastic, fantastic.
you
Thank you
see,
so much. Tanya.
everybody just love your voice, and
Thank you, guys.
I'll come back to you again within a short while. If you are
No
in a
problem.
hurry, just let me know or watch. I'll come back to you. Now I am Tanya. You have little time?
Yes, of course.
Oh, great, great. Now I am going to the the Calcutta, your favorite place. So, Pew, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Please tell us, the recipe, what we are discussing, what sort of rewaj, what sort of practice you do, and also, I would love to ask you one very I'd say dodgy questions that because
The
this
dodgy
program is
the dodgy
because
one
this
was
program only you, yeah. Yes, I know the reason, because now the thing is, this program is about to like soul touching tone, and I got some sort of questions before this show. So whether so if the voice is not soul touching, so they can't sing. So this sort of things I need to answer, and I think it's a very justified things that some people they sometimes think that maybe their voice are not sounding very good, but what I believe, and I would love to your thoughts before the after the initial questions, that it's just practice, and you need to believe in yourself, and everybody has some uniqueness in their tone, and if they believe in yourself and they learn from a proper teacher, and if they do their hard work, and if they try to feel the music, definitely they will get the success. So that is actually my answer. I would love to hear from you.
which one should I answer first?
First your the
Techniques.
ingredients, the recipe, what you do,
Techniques.
and
Okay.
little bit of your background, that how did you get your traditional training and everything, little bit.
Uh, being born in a family where music was, um, music was a lot being patronized by my ancestors, like my grandfather, who used to learn from Sangit Samrat Bhishmodev Chattopadhyay,
Ah,
who himself was an icon. So I got to learn from him as well, and then I started learning from my mother, Srimati Pradipta Mukherjee, who was basically a homemaker, but from her mind she was a great musician. She is still dead. I mean, she is a great musician from her mind. So I got the initial training from my mother and grandfather. Then later on I moved to Pandit Nihar Ranjan Bandyopadhyay and many more gurus, but definitely I would love to mention the one I got my talim from is none other than Padma Vibhushan Srimati Girija Devi ji, who is absolutely, everybody knows her, and
of
she's
course.
another icon of Indian classical and semi-classical music, Banaras Gharana. So initially, get the talim from these legendary gurus. Um, See, in our Indian classical music, basically gurus do not uh, show the techniques. They show the gayaki, they
Correct.
show the ornamentations, right? We don't get to learn the technical parts of it, to how you will like get your voice in a proper note, or you can get your voice more flexible or like that. So later on, I started finding myself little, I cannot do this part, I am unable to do that part. So which, always used to motivate me to learn from the other gurus as well. Not one to one interaction is not always needed. Actually there are some stuff, you can find them around yourself, but you just need to pick them up and train yourself in that way, which helps you to overcome your problems. Like initially when I used to learn from Appaji, I call my Guruma Appaji, she is known as Appaji only.
Yes, yes.
um, uh, she actually she used to teach the raga, the bandishas, then the compositions in Tumri, Dadra, Khayal, Tappa. Again, a very intricate part while I am asked to sing a Tappa. Tappa is something very tricky. Uh, the tanas, the murkis, they are not like Khayal. It has
Correct.
some other ingredients. So while doing the uh, tans of tappa, you need to actually practice something else which you are not getting
Absolutely.
from your
Yeah,
guru.
yes, jam
The
jama
jam
aji balchi
jama, and
babar.
that
Yes.
the dhai panch they used to say like
Yeah, dhai pants.
these are not used in khayal at all. So the
Absolutely.
different things you need
Wow,
to
wow,
learn
wow, wow.
from everyone, where from you get to hear. Like when I was in my university, I uh, got to get my masters, my post graduation done from Rabindra Bharati as well
Okay.
as Calcutta University as well. But while doing post graduation in Rabindra Bharati, I used to hear my colleagues, my contemporaries, what they are singing. Some used to learn from the other gurus, like I met many of them who used to come from Pandit Acharya Jayanto Bosji's school
Yes,
of
yes.
music. So
Yeah.
there I could actually, I used to watch them, what they are rehearsing, what they are practicing. And therefrom I used to pick up, which I am unable to do. So this
I
is how
understand.
actually I made myself, little more capable of doing something. So
That's
that is like
fantastic. And
example.
my second question is, that people who think that they don't have a proper tone or something, so what they should do, what sort of rewaj or practice they should do.
The answer actually you have already given, Dada. That is the confidence in oneself and believing in oneself. The first thing, see, we are not born with all the qualities we should have.
Absolutely.
Like we have many examples around ourselves. Like Begum Akhtar ji used to have a little, range.
Yeah.
She used to have very little range, and
Yes.
Amir Khan Sahab had a broken voice. We
Yeah.
all know this. So these are
Yeah.
the examples we all have around ourselves. So there are limitations, there are problems, there are shortfalls, shortcomings. So instead of having that, everyone has their own uniqueness as well. Like I
That's
know what are my weaknesses, but I can actually understand the way I need to overcome my shortcomings.
That's
So
fantastic. That's absolutely fine. I'm now going to ask Ambika just a short point about these things actually, because Ambika and also Avira, you both
Yes.
do shows in London and outside London with a band and everything, and you interact with people, and you have seen a lot of female singers. So if you
Yes.
want to, that will be really good for the younger generation who are trying to be a Bollywood singer, who are trying to sing a particular song. So what Pew explained to us, and if you give a little bit light on those matters. Ambika,
Um,
Abira, yeah.
I think
You
Abira, you
decide.
yeah,
can
I
go
mean,
first. I'd love to hear what you have to say first.
Yeah, Abira, tell us.
to be honest, I would definitely, first of all, Piyuji, माशाल्लाह जबरदस्त जो आपने थोड़ी सी अभी बस एक तान मारी थी क्या बात है जबरदस्त और दूसरा ये कि I would actually say that I mean it's human nature. Personally, we are never satisfied with whatever we do. So if I just sang for you guys, and to me it wasn't of course my best. I was shaky, and to me that's how I felt. And so we don't know how other person's ears are listening to what we're saying, what we're singing. And to the newer generations, I would say if you actually do want to pursue Bollywood singing, definitely, learn from older era, learn from, black and white movies, learn from those songs. They would, if your base is strong, I have never had a proper trainer. I've never been trained. Yes, I used to sing like crazy around the house, running around the house, singing in front of my friends, online, wherever I went. But yes, I would definitely say if your base is good, if you can, sing on these type of songs that Lataji has sung. Of course, you can't ever sing those songs like Lataji, never ever. But if you try, and if you're learning from that type of music, you're modern singing or learning these songs, the ones we're listening to these days, it's literally easy.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much, Abira. Ambika, if you
That's all
add
I can
something.
say.
Do you
That's
know, actually, Abira, when you mentioned this, learning from the older generation, older songs, it reminded me of a time that I'd first been exposed to Bollywood music, which was when I was perhaps 9 or 10, and I was in India at the time. I only knew of Bollywood music through the songs that were being released and aired on TV at the time, which was stuff that Sonu Nigam was singing, and it wasn't really songs from back then. But then again, I was also exposed to remixes of older songs
Exactly.
like Babuji Tere Chalna, and what was that song? God, I really, really like that song. I think there's like an Asha Ji was singing it, and there's an Apache Indian rap version to it that I heard. And because I had not been exposed to the original side of Bollywood music, I thought this was the original, and I thought, oh my God, this is really, really cool. How is this happening? Right? So that was, iconically, it made the genre what it was for me. And years later, I heard someone play what sounded like a much, much older version of this music. And I thought, oh my God, where is this coming from? Did somebody remix it in an older version? And I realized how ignorant I was, which makes it quite difficult to call yourself a professional in the field, because
I mean, no,
you should know where it comes from.
it's not your fault, I would say. I mean, yes, my mom was a singer, so I grew up listening to that music. So I definitely understand what you mean and where you're coming from. Would definitely agree with that. Yeah.
And I think one of the most important parts of learning from that generation, from that like Lagjagali, Lataji's voice, and also to know the difference between what Lataji can sing from her generation, fast songs and slower songs and melodious songs, and how it impacts a listener when you hear the same type of singing but from Ashaji like 10 years later. You know, how the sisters' voices are so identical, yet they're very different, and they kind of cater to that decade. I think being able to take essences from different parts of different singers will make it very useful to learn about Bollywood music. It's not just one singer, and especially now, it's not just Shreya Ghoshal. There's many different vocalists. There's Chitraji as well. I mean, from yesteryear, but still. Those voices have differences, and today's voice, apart from Shreyaji, who's already an accomplished Bollywood singer in the industry, any upcoming vocalists, you'd notice that they don't have a voice that is purely Ashaji's influence or Lataji's influence. There's a big mixture of all different styles.
Ambika, this is a very important point actually, and 2-3 days ago, I think you have heard about Usha Uthup. I loved her voice, and I loved Sunidhi Chauhan's voice also. It's a very fantastic singer. So thank you so much for your input. Now, you need to wait a little bit because people are going crazy to listen to you.
I am actually enjoying the entire discussion.
Okay. So,
okay, Chiranjeeb, may I leave? Do you have any question for me?
তোমার জন্য question, yes, you have. I want to ask you another one question. If you give me a little bit time, then I'll come back to you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Tanya,
go ahead.
Yeah, please sing a song for us.
Okay, so I've got a keyboard here, and
whatever you like, you just choose and sing for us.
So I'm sure you'll recognize it. I'll put some.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, Arifa.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Beautiful,
Kya
Tanya.
baat,
Wow.
kya
That was
baat, Tanya.
so.
After
That
thank
was
you. It
really
means,
soul touching.
it means
That
a
was
lot
beautiful.
coming from beautiful singers such as yourself. And it's also one of those classics.
How
And I agree
nicely
with.
your pronunciations
okay,
are, Tanya ji.
Thank you
let
so
let
much.
me
It's
Great.
beautiful.
Thank you so
great,
much.
Tanya. It's great. I'm just inviting another my guest, Arifa ji. Hello, Arifa.
Hello. Hang on.
Arifa
I'm
ji,
just gonna. Yes.
Arifa ji, I can't see you, but
Okay,
I can.
Chiranjeeb ji, I'm just turning. Oh, hello. Oh my gosh,
Great.
that's weird.
Hello,
Hello.
hello, Arifa
Hello,
ji.
hello, Arifa.
Hi.
Thanks for joining. Arifa ji is
What a pleasure
wonderful
to be here.
jazz singer, and I'm so happy, Arifa ji, you joined
Yeah,
and
but I'm not. I mean, everybody here is like at a different level. I'm just a very amateur compared to everybody. I started when I was 42. It's not, it's not. Yeah, it's a
yeah,
different.
I will ask you. I'll ask
Amazing.
you, and Tanya, thank you so much. I still I can remember. I think Arifa ji was there. Tanya, you sang
Yeah.
one song from in my show. That was your composition based in Rag Jog, and when you just just open up your voice and people just wow, and the same effect happened to Arifa ji. You came to the hall, you didn't do the sound check, and I still can remember. But
Because
when
I was
you
scared. So.
yeah, I know, I know. And when you just
Mm.
uh, you know uh, first note, it was like in the bhavan, I still can remember, it was pint of silence. So
You had to
i'm
be there because I don't know if it can happen again ever.
I will ask
I
you a couple
remember.
of questions,
Mm.
but before that, actually, just give us that essence of your golden voice, please. Just sing anything. Start.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. I don't know. Some other spring, my heart. Oh no, sorry. Hang
Just
on.
start.
I don't know what. Oh,
Do you want a little bit time? Do you want a
yes,
little bit
please.
time to think? Sure. Pew, your
Bless her.
famous song from Tansenet
Really,
Tanpura.
amateur should go before great artists. Maybe I should do it
No, no,
before.
no. You
Please
just
don't
think.
say that.
I'm
We are
coming back.
all eager to listen to
I'm
you. We
coming
are
back
all
to
eager.
you, Arifa Just
No.
I'm asking Pew to sing,
Mm.
please. That song people are requesting me.
Actually, just a month ago, this song is released. It's composed by none other than Joida, our very dear Joy Sarkar,
Yes,
and it's penned down by Srijatuda,
yes.
Srijatu Bandyopadhyay. It's a song from a web series Tansener Tanpura. Tansener Tanpura. It's released in Hoichoi. So you guys, please go through the song if you like to.
It's a
It's
thriller
wonderful.
fiction.
I've heard this.
Yeah,
Oh, really? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll just sing the
it's a very
song.
very good thriller web series,
Yeah,
and
web series.
Wow.
It's in Bengali, but you can go through the songs actually. The songs are wonderfully, composed and rendered. So it
yeah,
is sung by me and Jimut Roy. It's a duet song based in Rag Jog. My Tanpura is audible.
you
Yes.
can
Perfectly.
the volume of the tanpura you can do a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Higher. Actually, it's the highest volume of this
Okay.
iPad.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
So,
That's
okay.
fine.
Re na
क्या बात.
তোমাকে ভালোবেসে কোথায় যাব শেষে জানি না সেই দেশে চিরাগো আছে কি না তবে সে গান্ধারে নিখাদে প্রাণধারে কে তাকে প্রাণধারে প্রেয়সী তোমাবি না যদি বা প্রাণ যায় যেন না গান যায় হৃদয় জান যায় তাকে তো রাখা যায় না তোমাকে ভালোবেসে কোথায় যাব শেষে জানি না সেই দেশে চিরাগো আছে কি না সেই উজানের মন স্পর্শ সঙ্গোপন যেখানে ছৌ তাকে ভাঙবে তমসাকে এমনই সম্মোহন সেই মনেরই নাম জানলে পাল্টাতাম নীরবে সংযোগে রেখেছি মনোযোগে দিনে কিছু দাম তোমাকে ভালোবেসে কোথায় যাব শেষে জানি না সেই দেশে চিরাগো আছে কি না তবে সে আন্ধারে নিখাদে গান্ধারে কে তাকে প্রাণধারে প্রেয়সী তোমাবি না যদি বা প্রাণ যায় যেন না গান যায় হৃদয় জান যায় তাকে তো রাখা যায় না তোমাকে ভালোবেসে কোথায় যাব শেষে জানি না সেই দেশে চিরাগো আছে কি না
Wow.
Beautiful.
My voice is truly
That was
if you
beautiful.
can actually get the
Wow.
flavor of the original track, just search for Tomake Bhalobeshe. You will get to hear the song. Thank you.
Don't worry, I will forward the song to all of them.
Please do.
Thank you so much,
I
Chiranjeeb.
love Tamil, Bengali. I listen to every single language. And
That's great.
Actually, Piyuji, I'd like to ask you a question about your voice. I hope you don't mind me.
Yeah, please go ahead, Ambika. Thank you so much. I want this sort of interaction. Yes.
Actually, you know, when I first heard you as you came onto this conversation, I didn't hear you singing. I heard you speaking, and I could hear that you had a very husky, sort of hoarse
my voice is actually broken. Yeah, today.
And a lot of some people that I train as a vocal coach, they tend to have what they call a broken voice. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use for it when they approach me and say, oh, I want to be able to sing very fluidly, very smoothly. How do I get my voice to sound like that?
Ambika, sorry to interrupt you. Can I add something? That
Yes,
is actually Piyu's TRP. That's the huskiness of the voice. You know,
Yeah,
that's the
even a speaking voice.
Yeah,
Actually,
my
the
question
speaking voice
actually.
was truly broken today. I had
Oh, is
too
it
many
actually broken,
back-to-back.
or is this your
Very
general?
effective.
This is
No,
your
no,
natural
no.
voice.
That's not the original one which I'm talking in.
And
Actually,
this is
the
how
broken
you
one.
sound when you.
little broken
I
today. I
had
can
to,
see.
I had to struggle while I was climbing up. It was truly giving me pain in my voice, so that I couldn't actually reach the exact frequency I should. But somehow I managed, because this is life, and we need to.
Of
Pew,
course.
honestly, I want to tell you that we just loved it.
Thank you
It was
so
beautiful.
much.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
my main question was, at what point would you say that your voice changed from whatever you would consider a smooth to a broken voice?
The moment you could find yourself, not comfortable when you are singing, your breathing problem starts, and sometimes you can't reach the exact frequency you want to hit. Actually, I can get to understand well while I actually, say sa, it is very. It's a comfort zone, but when you are climbing up or you are going down, that moment you can actually relate that the problem starts here, like sa sa ga ga. Here the voice is breaking, so I know
Right. So would you say that everything you just sang, what register would you say that you were shifting between? I mean, there's a chest voice, and would you say that you would just access the chest voice in your projection, or would you go into a falsetto as well?
That is actually very important question. I was thinking to ask you, everyone here, that chest voice and head voice, the certain point. So yes, you tell us something about
Actually, the problem is, Ambika ji, we are not taught that way, where you should use your voice and where you should use your chest voice. Like, see, sa, I'm hitting my chest voice, but after that, I'll, no. Here, actually, we should use the head one, but which we are not being taught in our traditional Indian classical music.
But there are many classical vocalists who are somehow doing it, but it couldn't have been just blind learning if they are improvising as they're doing this. So in your own riyaz, what is your realization about
I have something to say here.
Yes, please.
Yes, I have something to say here. Actually, in Hindustani classical music, we initially were taught to use open throat voice, you know.
Yeah.
Actually, all the notes should have the same weight. It should carry the same weight. The weight you're using in Mudara Sa, lower octave Sa. So you should Sa. This is a full throat sound we are supposed to use. Yeah. So in that way, as Piyu said, Saga. Actually, you should use a softer version of Gandhar. But all the old maestros and artists, they never bothered about microphone, you know. They used to say, microphone wahan rakho. Awaaz bahut tez hai hamara. Yeah. That is how they used to.
That was the tradition.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they used to say like, full throats.
even if it gets broken, doesn't matter. Even if
they didn't matter.
Gets broken, they don't bother.
Yeah.
And actually, voice actually changes with your age. I'm not citing your case view. You're quite small
you are
comparatively.
absolutely right, Didi. Absolutely
right.
right.
It changes with age, you know. The Jawari, the Tasir we had when we were in teens will not belong now.
That is true.
So we have to accept that, and accordingly we have to manipulate our voice. That is how we are trained.
Yeah,
that is how I actually found my Guruma used to, you know, lower down her pitches.
Your Guruma was also my Guruma. I just got her for last 1 year.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just asking, Arifa ji, I hope you are ready now, and just allow me. I can't hear you. You unmute yourself, please, first.
Right.
You need to sing just
I really don't feel that this is the company that I should be singing in.
Anything, 2-3 line, not more than that. I'll ask Abira the same question, the chest voice and head voice, because you people, do a lot of shows and do different kind of songs, you know, sometimes, you know, and
we do 1920s and 1930s jazz songs, and I think the instruments are far more important, so I'm just there to hold the space, I think, pretty much.
Okay, so I'm coming back to you, Arifa ji. I'm just coming back to you, and thank you, viewers. First, I didn't get opportunity because I don't want to shift my eyes from the screen, because all the beautiful female singers are here, and so apologies if I don't do the reply personally. And thank you all for watching. I can see the number here, and thank you all. Without your cooperation, it would not be possible for me. And thank you, singers. All are here.
Thank you. Thank you. We are honored as well.
Abira, my question is, you know, the shift over that particular point, you people shift the voice and take the help of head voice. How you trigger, how you practice that? Do you practice separately, or song just guide you?
That is the answer. I mean, I love how you ask a question, but yes, the answer is in your questions. Yes, some of the time, because my mom had learned from Madame Noor Jahan herself. She was her shagird. So my mom is as Rupa ji said, open throat singer. So I've grown up watching my mom, singing with from chest. So I have been learning Lataji's songs, Ashaji's song, where it's always been the highest octave, or pitches literally touching the top of the mountain, and it's so hard to sing these songs. So definitely the song, whatever song you will sing, it automatically guides you where you need to hit that thin voice, where you need to bring in the open throat singing. And to be honest, I have always been singing in that really hit voice, but now that I have been learning more myself, of course, now I've been researching more, now is the time where I feel like, yes, I am being able to the way I talk, this is my voice. But if a singer knows how to sing smooth, how to start a song, how to make your voice, change your voice according to the song, you would definitely find it in you. And as Piyuji said as well, nobody's going to teach you where you need to bring that voice in,
Absolutely.
or where you need your other voice. It definitely, as you said, it's the song. It guides you.
That's great.
It leads you there. Yeah.
That's great. Just to let you know that I will ask you again to sing a couple of lines, maybe 2 or 3 lines, because I would love to hear again Ambika's voice. I love to hear from Madam Noorjahan's 2-3 line from
here,
Abira
Chiranjeeb, I would just like to add something. This question,
please.
I vividly remember I asked this question. I was quite desperate. I asked this question to Appaji, our beloved Girjadevi. Yes, I asked this question, and she was having her breakfast, and without looking at me, she said, "Aare upar ka sabhi lagata hai, chhod de." सूर का अंदाज रख, और जो जैसा जाता है आवाज उस सुर तक ले जा. Take your note to that point. Don't think about your voice or throw.
But the
just imagine the note.
Important. But the techniques are equally important.
Technique you have to imbibe. Technique, she said, you have to imbibe according to your capacity, according to your caliber. Yes, that's what you said. I'm just trying to. Yes. Yeah, please continue. I'm sorry to disturb.
No. That's fabulous.
Actually, I think what you said, Rupaji, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Because when you're trying to reach certain notes in a song that you can't reach, your attention is so much on the theoretical side of it. It's not so much on it's not so much on the passionate side of it. A lot of singers that can't reach the note, they sound strained. If they focus on, it's like a catch-22 sort of thing. I mean, there was a time when I was focusing on trying to get that note, and I sounded incredibly strained and nasal and all kinds of things. But one thing I think I could suggest for every vocalist, every learning vocalist especially as well, is once they've come to a stage of being able to hold sur and learn to sing songs, it's important to perhaps have a recording experience where they can hear back their own voice.
Absolutely.
Especially in,
altogether.
Yeah, and especially being able to hear themselves from a performance mic and a studio soundproof mic. To be able to hear the difference, they can hear every little crackle, every little imbalance, every little, vibrato, for example, that takes away, that becomes an identity for a singer in many ways. It's part of the tone. So when your vibrato is perhaps not in rhythm with the song, maybe it's interfering with the impulses, or whether it's too shaky, and you in your head you think you have a very good grip of your voice, but the vibrato says everything about how much you are aware of your stability on the notes. I think that puts a lot of impact on your singing. So trying to reach a note that you can't reach, you have to try and, I mean, when I train my students, I tell them, I know your range. You can't sing past the top note, like sa sa. If you can't go past sa re ga, if you can't go up until ga, then at least on sa you have to try your best to understand how you can use your speaking range to take it to that point. You need to have at least 2 to 3 notes of a reserve stamina to be able to sing that. And if you have perhaps if you're going to go into a falsetto, there's a falsetto and there's this super like whistle tone, sort of a tone that you need to reach. But before you get there, which shouldn't be accidental, it should be intentional, which means every register that you're going to move into, you need to have 2 to 3 notes of a reservation there in order to, and
It
even
has to be handled very carefully.
Yeah, and it also
has to be
needs
handled
to happen
carefully.
in the lower octave as well. So if you go sa ni da pa, your lowest note is going to be stable if you have 2 to 3 more semitones that you can reach, even if that's not stable. The one in the middle will be more stable. I think on this aspect, I was appreciating what PUG was saying about being able to reach a note, whether you can or not, just hit the note. And also what Rupaji was saying about, don't worry about what happens to your voice, just reach the note. I think over time, you begin to realize that you've hit the note, and then you can ornament your journey around that melody. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure if that works the same way with the other vocalists here, but I'd love to hear how it works with you as well.
Definitely I will come and go. Before I'm going to Arifa ji, I just want to tell all of you that would love to hear maybe 2-3 lines from each of you before closing down. Arifa ji, please sing a song for us.
This is so terrible. I really don't know what to sing, but
actually, can I ask Arifa ji, what's your favorite jazz song?
Jazz song? I don't know about jazz song. My favorite jazz singer is Billie Holiday, obviously. So I mean, so
I think you should sing one of her songs, because I know what her voice sounds like. I'm not familiar with every song of hers. Maybe you could, give us one of her songs.
Well, she wrote a few. So one of the songs that she wrote, and I don't know if I'll start in the right place, so I might end up in the wrong place. So anyway,
it's okay. I think it would be nice to hear this.
Please.
A novelty, if nothing else. Them that's got shall get. Them, I think that's too high, isn't it? Them that's not shall lose. Them that's got shall get. Them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. My voice is too shaky to actually sing.
Wow.
Just continue.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Wonderful.
Two more lines, please.
I know you have to say that, but please,
okay.
No, really,
okay, that's fine.
Beautiful.
Arifa ji, you tell me one thing that, I can see, I've heard you earlier also. I've been to your shows, you performed in my shows. I can see that there are lots of microtones, and when you are the landing notes, sometimes you are doing some chromatic movements and landing on a note. So do you feel any similarity with Indian classical? That it's
well, that's the practice I do that you taught me in my middle age. You taught me how to do all these these sargams and practice, and that's what I do before, so I do that and I listen to my recordings, and that's all.
I'd love to hear, like, if you have a gig or when you perform, before the performance, any special thing you practice, any sort of voice exercise, what you do?
Yeah, the ones you taught me, like
how sweet you are.
That's
fantastic. That's fantastic.
She's so adorable.
That's fantastic. But sometimes, when you perform, you listen to old records or the original
totally. It's
score.
what you were saying about the Bollywood stuff, that it's, old Hindi film music. I love the 1920s and 30s because it's a different kind. In fact, even Indian, even like Indubala Devi and Angurbala Devi, it's what I like to listen to, in that kind of thing. So, when you were talking about, this is often before microphones. So you'll have, Bessie Smith really throwing her voice out. And these are all blues women, before the men took over blues. It was all the women doing that. So I don't know much about music. I just, whatever you taught me. Chiranjeeb.
That's your humbleness, and I know
my
you very
ears.
well. I know you very well, and when you are walking on the street, when you are doing something, and when you are on stage, you completely turned into a different women. I've seen that, and it's something in your voice. I got goosebumped at Bhavan. I'm telling you honestly, and thank you so much for joining. And this is the input actually. You told us that without microphone and the old musicians recording actually give you that that much impression to sing or to perform your music. That is amazing for the youngsters to know that how you are getting that you know
Well, by the time Billie Holiday came in, I mean, you can hear all the nuances in her voice
yeah,
because, she's got a microphone of her own.
I
But
understand,
instead of
I understand.
everybody, just one microphone in the whole room with everybody playing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Now we are nearly at the end. So I
Yeah.
am I'm happy to ask. I want to start with Tanya again. Uh, uh, if you sing for two, 3 line, I will pray for any ghazal or your composition. Actually, your because you already sang one ghazal, so your composition would be very good. Any new things in your mind you'd love to share, any new thoughts, maybe you think this is a little bit similar with raga or something, whatever.
What is gold music?
She has started singing, Ambika.
She can't hear anything, so I don't know what sort she thinks she's singing.
Okay, okay, Tanya, sing one song for
I was
us.
inspired by Arifa singing, and I just wanted something that inspired me to learn Hindustani.
You muted. Your mic
It
mute.
sounds cut off. Yeah.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yes.
We can hear.
I just after hearing Arifa singing, I felt inspired because we've been talking about old is gold, like these old is gold compositions. This music from this era of the 20s to the 50s was so rich and inspiring and just classic, as in even now young listeners today listen to that era and really enjoy the quality of that music, from so many different countries. Not of course the South Asian continent had such rich music in that era as well. Is it a little bit feedback here? But so I was inspired when I heard her, and I was thinking of one of my favorite singers, who's Ella Fitzgerald, and how she also uses ornamentation in some of these compositions, which just give it such a lovely swing. So I was going to sing. There's a saying old says love is blind, and still we're often told, seek and ye shall find. So I'm going to seek a certain that I have in mind. I'm a little lamb who's lost in the wood. I know I could always be good to one who watch over me.
Wow.
To put on some speed, follow my lead. Oh, how I need someone who watch
Wow.
Kya baat.
Wow,
Well,
Tanya.
if it's,
That was so
you know, I
beautiful.
serve some purpose, Chiranjeeb ji, in inspiring that, I think. I was going to be annoyed with you for inviting me here, but it's a good thing.
I can't see you.
Thank you.
Voice, and it's so
I can't.
but it
I can't see
No,
you,
but
Arifa.
that was like really lovely. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed listening to all of you.
Thank you for having. Thank you so much for joining. Now I am going to ask Ambika. Sing whatever you like.
Okay, I'd like to give you a little bit of a story quickly. Obviously, I've just had a baby, so a lot of the things I sing have to be very lullaby-fied. But a few years ago, I have very young siblings as well. So when they were much younger, I would put them to sleep trying to sing them a lullaby, and I kind of made up the words as I went along. And I thought I'd try and sing it in some sort of a jazzy way. I'm not sure if it's really jazz, but I'll sing you the little. It's a very small section. Here it goes. The end of the day gets so dark, I get so tired. All I want to do is fall asleep in your arms, and I just know all my dreams will flow among the flowers and the leaves by the river. It will be colorful as we fly. The skies will be blue and we will be so happy, 'cause you and I are in love and in the same dreams too.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Abira,
and again, that was inspired by Arifa as well. Thank you so much for starting us off.
Now I'm asking Abira, you know, I can't force you because I already requested you one song, but my choice would be Madam Noorjahan. But if you anything in your mind,
I would.
I'll accept that, and I'd love to listen to that.
Please
actually.
do, yeah, because my mom's definitely watching this interview, so I do want to dedicate her favorite song.
Of course,
this is the song. She told me, do not come to me, do not talk to me until you learn this song. And I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old.
That's fantastic. Please convey my pranam and regards to her.
Definitely, I would do.
Thank you. Please sing.
Sanan jariyo pavan sanan jariyo pavan दूर देश ले जा संदेश जहाँ मेरे सजन जारियो पवन सनन जारियो पवन चुके चरण कहना पवन बिरहागन अब होना सहन तन है मेरी पूजा यहाँ भगवान वहाँ ये दूरी सहे कैसे मन की मयूरी हो ये दूरी सहे कैसे मन की मयूरी बरसती है नैनों के धन सनन 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 जारियो पवन दूर देश ले जा संदेश जहाँ मेरे सजन जारियो पवन
Oh my
Ah,
God.
क्या
Such a
बात
lovely,
क्या
such a
बात
lovely
है.
presentation. That was
जल देते
beautiful.
एकटू बाबू
Thank you so much,
Superb.
everyone. Thank you, guys.
Superb. And
What a golden voice, I must
let
say.
me just
Wonderful.
convey my regards and thanks to the viewers. Viewers, we are delighted to have you all, and I can see that lot of great musicians are watching our show. And I'm not going to name their individually, but in my screen I can see that Tausif Akhtar ji is watching from Mumbai. Thank you, Tausif ji.
Beautiful.
Regards, thank you. Bornali Chattopadhyay is watching from Mumbai as well. Thank you, Bornali ji, for watching us. And we need always your support and love. Now I'm going to ask Rupa ji to sing any form of Thumri or Dadra or whatever you want to offer us.
Chiranjeeb, I'm having a connectivity problem from my music room, so I'm not having Tanpura here. So
Without
I'll
Tanpura,
take any
just two
scale.
line.
Yeah,
Two line. Or
I sing one of my father's composition, Acharya
please,
Nidanbandhu
please.
Bandyopadhyay's composition.
Please.
तड़पत रहना गुजारी हो राम. I'm audible?
Yes,
Yes, Lord.
fantastic.
Yes, beautifully.
काहे आवत जब भोर हुई हो तड़पत रहना गुजारी हो राम. काहे आवत जब
I'm so I'd like to add something that this particular composition, I'm so lucky that I have heard it from my Guruji, from my
Yes.
Dadu. So, Rupa ji, you made our evening and wonderful. Thank you so much for joining to you all. And, now I'll ask Pew to sing one compositions, whatever you like, because I requested the other one. So now you
Okay.
you can sing whatever you like. And Arifa ji, thank you so much. Arifa ji, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we will listen to Pew ji, and then we will finish our show. So thank you all again. Thanks. Really, I don't have any words to express my gratitude to you all, because you agreed
Thank you, Chiranjeeb, for conducting it so well.
Yes.
Being a childhood friend, can I say something? Would you mind if I say something?
Of course, please go ahead.
You look very much like Krishna Kanhaiya today, amongst all gopis.
Okay, I'm taking it on my shoulder. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
you're
so much.
managing so well all your gopinis. Amazing.
Now I want to tell you one honest feelings. What was in my heart when I did plan this particular things. Actually, this is a soul-touching tone. Actually, this is something that, in my opinion, it's a lesson for me to learn from all of you. Actually, and because for me, music has no boundaries, and sometimes we go to a concert, we listen to YouTube videos, we in social media, but we just appreciate maybe one like or something. But we never got the opportunity to ask that particular artist that how you are doing. Tumi kemon kore gaan koro he Gunvidya. Rabindranath Tagore has written this line that how you can sing, how you can express yourself so beautifully. I'm just spellbound. So that is my thing in my heart, that the voice I like very much. So it will be good to ask them to teach me some, or to guide me some, or to
Well,
share
we are
your
learning as
experience.
well. We are learning as well.
Share
We
your
definitely,
experience.
yes, definitely learn from each other. And I would actually say thank you so much, Chiranjeeb ji, because this topic,
Yes, thank you.
soul touching voice. I always believe nowadays, yes, there are too many singers. Yes, everyone can sing in tune, but I definitely am a believer. If it doesn't touch your soul, if you don't get goosebumps, it hasn't got that effect. So yes, this topic of today, and you talking about soul touching voices, it was beautiful, definitely. And if you're
actually, I'd also like to thank you, Chiranjeeb ji, for something very similar to what Abira was talking about earlier. It's without you initiating this gathering of singers, I wouldn't have come across so many singers that I've heard of but never known. And to be honest, in this field of work, we don't really come across each other, because we get
yes, it is wonderful getting to know each other, getting to hear each other. Yes, it's
the
wonderful.
meeting is still on amongst us, but it is not visible for the viewers. There are many people. Its meeting is over.
Really?
Yeah, actually it has
Connection
got
has
over.
gone.
No,
Why?
not the connection. Not the connection. Actually, the meeting duration, I think, is over because it's not.
Oh, it's more than 2 hours.
Anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Please sing one song for us.
Because,
Surely. Recording here. I have recording here.
Yeah.
So I can post. I can post that.
Oh,
YouTube.
sure. That would be my pleasure, Chiranjeeb. I must thank everyone here who have already given their views and wonderful, thoughts shared amongst us. And I am really, really honored to be the part of this evening. Thank you so much, Chiranjeeb. I would conclude my performance with the tappa I was talking in the beginning. The most toughest one I have come across from Appaji. It's in Rag Mishra Desh. Tappa is something which actually has been derived from Middle East camel riders. So this is basically, it's very subtle and naughty, this one, the completely.
Yes, please.
So this is very difficult for a Bengali girl to, learn, acquire, and then to be presented. So with God's blessing and definitely my Guruji's blessing. It's in Mishra Des. Re na re no re भूल जावे सांडा दुख वे भूल जावे सांडा दुख वे तुसी कर्म करी मड़ साइया भूल जावे सांडा दुख वे कर्म करी तुसी भल करिया शोरी तू आन के मिला जा रे भूल जावे सांडा दुख वे तुसी कर्म करी मड़ साइया भूल जावे सांडा दुख वे जावे सांडा दुख वे जावे सांडा दुख वे दुख वे
क्या बात है, क्या बात है।
This is
Absolutely.
really,
Thank,
really
Ah,
toughest
you.
one. I mean,
That's beautiful.
Kya baat, kya baat,
I think
you.
it has
Thank you.
a touch of
thank you so much.
Punjabi and
Yeah,
Sindhi,
it is
and I'm
actually
a
Punjabi.
Punjabi.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so
really?
I'm a
Okay.
Punjabi and I loved it. I am from Lahore
Actually, the one
originally.
who has who used to pen down this compositions is Shori Mia, who again came to Lahore and then Punjab, then some Indian influences from
Yes,
Middle
I am
East.
from
So,
Lahore, so I loved it. That's why I was like, yes,
thank you so
oh,
so much.
wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know why we did get this trouble. Actually, I took it for 3 hours, so now it's only
Oh,
2 hours something.
but
I don't know.
I guess the Facebook viewers cannot watch it anymore.
I know, but no problem. I'm recording it in Zoom. I will publish
Sure.
it in YouTube. So
Such a
Yeah.
yeah,
nice
thank you
evening
all.
and
Thank you so
experience.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Th-
you.
thank,
Thank you,
thank,
Chiranjeeb.
thank you.
Bye.
So
Thank
much.
you,
Thank you.
Thank you
Tanya, for
all.
Thank
joining.
you
Thank you,
so
Thank
much.
thank you,
Wonderful
everyone.
to meet you
Thank
Abira,
all.
you
Ambika.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks so
Chiranjeeb
much.
ji.
Okay, okay,
Thank you
okay,
so much.
okay.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
bye, bye. Good night.
bye.
Bye, bye, bye.